Bitcoin, listen, I like Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is math, and math has been around for thousands of years, and 2 plus 2 is going to equal 4, and it will for the next 2,000 years. So I like the idea of investing in something that's reliable, consistent, honest, and 100% certain. So Bitcoin has appealed to me because it's a way for me to invest in certainty, where, again, I look at the difference between the Fed of 2013, the Fed of 2021. I'm going, how can this, do I want to have faith necessarily? I look at the difference between Trump and Biden. Do I want to have faith in that same reliability and consistency of human nature and the linear nature of human nature, which we know is anything but that?
You like Bitcoin at these prices?
Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily. My name is Aaron. The reason why you subscribe to this channel is because on a daily basis, we break down everything going on in the cryptocurrency space. We clue you into things that you would not normally know about unless you were subscribed to this channel or tuned in to the cryptocurrency space in general. So much to talk about today. Make sure that you watch the entire video. Let's start right here. What you just watched is literally one of the most legendary investors on the planet, became a multi-billionaire from his investing prowess, Paul Tudor Jones, reaffirming his commitment, his investor's thesis to Bitcoin. He says Bitcoin is math, and math has been around for thousands of years. 2 plus 2 is going to equal 4, and it will for the next 2,000 years. I like the idea of investing in something that's reliable, consistent, honest, and 100% certain. We'll play the rest of this clip in just a second and talk about his updated portfolio allocation. Perhaps the top story of the day is this, and make no mistake about this, my friends, this is huge, huge for the bull case for cryptocurrency this year specifically. And that is the fact that the SEC, the regulating body in America, has zero plans to regulate Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in 2021. They're taking a hands-off approach, and this could not be more of a good thing. And we know this because the SEC has specifically released its 2021 regulatory agenda, and specifically, as far as things that they're going to focus on, things that they're going after, they have specifically left Bitcoin and cryptocurrency off of this list. Instead, they're focusing on short selling, a topic that has grown into a heated debate in the wake of the meme stock craze with GameStop and AMC theaters. But you realize how good of a thing this is for all of cryptocurrency. The SEC, if they wanted to, they could easily go after Bitcoin, or they could easily try to go after cryptocurrency, and they're specifically not. Now, why is that? I think for two reasons. Number one, they don't want to fall behind to China, which is quickly becoming a superpower. They don't want to fall behind to Russia. They want to continue to be leaders like they were in the 90s with the internet and dot-com stocks, the tech revolution of the 90s. They want that same thing to happen in America. So that's one reason. But perhaps the even bigger reason is we're starting to see Bitcoiners, cryptopians, get in positions of power. In this case, it is Gary Gensler. You see him teaching a Bitcoin blockchain class at MIT. This is back in 2018. He is now the SEC chair. And if you wanted, you can actually go on YouTube to MIT's YouTube page and go through his hours and hours of classes teaching about permissionless systems, teaching about blockchain, crypto, payments, UX, UO, all of this stuff. I mean, just hours and hours. So this guy clearly understands Bitcoin, crypto. He's not afraid of it. He's embracing it. And he is the SEC chair. And this is one of the biggest reasons, I think, that the SEC has no plans to regulate it. And he's just one example of different Bitcoiners and different cryptopians we're seeing in positions of power. They have just released the bulls for 2021. Now, I do want to say this, that does not mean that 100% of coins on CoinMarketCap are not going to, get into trouble with the SEC. If your cryptocurrency is clearly an unregistered security, you could see a fine. But let's actually talk about that, because now we actually have 3 to 4 years of data, different data points to kind of give us, kind of show us what they'd actually do. And what they're actually doing is actually pretty light, just a slap on the wrist. They're just, a few notable examples they're going after. For instance, we all know EOS, they had, one of the biggest ICOs in 2017 or 2018. They raised, They raised $4 billion, which was, a record at the time for their ICO. And they did at one point get into trouble with the SEC saying, hey, you just launched an unregistered security. And what happened to them? Virtually nothing. They had to pay a minuscule fine compared to what they actually raised, a fraction. It was basically just a small little tax to the SEC. And this is really like one of the worst case scenarios we're seeing. So hugely bullish for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in 2021. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, and let's get to some other bullish news. Goldman Sachs says yes to Ethereum. Goldman Sachs plans to start trading Ethereum options futures. The Wall Street giant is getting ready to move beyond Bitcoin. In brief, Goldman Sachs, one of the biggest investment banks on the planet, will now offer Ethereum futures and options trading in the coming months. This move comes after the bank embraced Bitcoin earlier this year. This is really interesting, and this is a big deal as well. I'm curious to know what you think about this. One of my takeaways is that we're seeing the way this cycle is trending. Goldman Sachs is getting ready to move beyond Bitcoin. So let's actually talk about Ethereum for a little bit. I've laid out the bull case for Ethereum plenty of times. Even if you think Ethereum has zero fundamental value, you can look at things like this and understand that Ethereum was probably going to do quite well this cycle from a narrative point of view. And even things like this. 23% of the Ethereum supply is locked in smart contracts. It's good to see Ethereum being used for what it is intended to be used for, as like this oil to facilitate dApps and different, DeFi type things. So what does this mean? Locked in smart contracts. Well, smart contracts can be things like Aaves, compounds, things on the DeFi list. It can also be ETH 2.0 smart contract. And moreover, for an investor like yourself, what this means is 23% of the Ethereum supply is off the market and not in a position to be sold anytime soon. This is what we like to see. And it's not just smart contracts. It's not just DeFi. It's also things like this. The Purpose Ether ETF. Now, we don't have an ETF in America yet. Hopefully this year. I suspect it's going to come sometime relatively soon. A Bitcoin ETF will probably come first in America, then probably an Ethereum one. But in places other than America, places like Canada and others, they do have Ethereum ETFs. In the news, here is this. The Purpose Ether ETF has added a further 15,000 ETH over the past 30 days. The ETF now holds 55,000 ETH in cold storage. So this is what I like to see. This is Ethereum that could be sold, not in a position to be sold anymore. Ethereum being taken off the market as well, and now holds, to be precise, 55,400 Ethereum in just this one specific ETF. Pretty cool. All right, let's talk about this and let's play the rest of this clip. So Paul Tudor Jones says, Bitcoin is a way for me to invest in certainty. According to the billionaire hedge fund manager Paul Tudor Jones, a diversified investment portfolio should have at least 5% in his portfolio. And they ask him, is now a good time to invest in Bitcoin? And I liked what he had to say. Listen to this.
You like Bitcoin at these prices?
Listen.
You got in at about 10,000?
I like Bitcoin as a portfolio diversifier. Everyone always asks me, what should I do with my portfolio? My employees say, I say, okay, listen, the only thing that I know for certain is I want to have 5% in gold, 5% in Bitcoin, 5% in cash, 5% in commodities at this point in time. I don't know what I want to do with the other 80%. I want to wait and see what the Fed's going to do, because what they do will have a big impact.
What's interesting to me is that back in 2020, when he first came out as a Bitcoin bull, he recommended about 1 to 2% of Bitcoin in a portfolio. Today, he recommends 5%. So his conviction in Bitcoin has gotten even greater, and it's simply because of the investment thesis that he did lay out. The world is coming around to Bitcoin in such a huge way. Everybody starts off as skeptical. Everybody starts off as a bear. But eventually you realize what it is and you go, well, maybe 1%, maybe 2%, maybe 5%. Very bullish. All right, curious to know what you think in the comments below. Please, let's have a conversation in the comments below. And for continued education, check out either of these two videos on the screen right now. I will see you tomorrow. This is turning out to be a fantastic year.